Hello, my name is Phil Barden and this is my critical reflection for my 201 module professional experience. For the 201 module professional experience, I chose a variety of experience. I split the 20 days professional experience into 3 parts. These were 10 days at Cadbury, 3 days organising and publishing my photography work, and the final 7 days I used to launch my new advertising company with a colleague. Cadbury. I began my professional experience with some traditional work experience at the design studio at Cadbury Craft Foods in Bournville, Birmingham, working for 10 days. I had applied to a variety of creative placements using personal contacts, so I was delighted with this opportunity. I am particularly interested in the more creative side of the advertising industry, so working at Cadbury was a great placement for me. Cadbury is both well known and respected for their original, innovative and creative advertising campaigns such as the Drumming Gorilla and the Eyebrows. This placement gave me a real insight into the daily work of a large company and I found it extremely interesting. It was so good to be in a real life workplace and see how all the components of the advertising industry operate on a day-to-day basis. I am also aware that my working experience at Cadbury will be a great asset on my CV and will hopefully improve my future prospects. Being put onto the working floor with everyone working around me was really motivating, but this also highlighted certain weaknesses. I knew I needed to improve my Photoshop skills, and Cadbury was the perfect place to improve these skills. Photoshop was not one of my strong points before I began 10 days. During my placement, I learned loads of new techniques on the program and many shortcuts to improve my speed at editing images. After the placement, my confidence in using Photoshop has certainly increased, but I am aware there is still more to learn. I went into my placement experience with the ultimate ambition of being an advertising creative. When we were working on the fictional brief on the first day, it made me doubt this goal. However, since we started doing the real life briefs, I knew that this was what I really wanted to do. I think working on a real life brief gave me a genuine insight into the industry and confirmed that I definitely wanted to have a career as an advertising creative. I learned that it would be much harder than I first imagined. Before my experience at Cadbury, I had not fully appreciated how many ideas you have to output just to achieve one usable idea for a product. It is a long process, but nevertheless, it's a process I hope to be part of in the future. The whole placement gave me a great deal of motivation and personal drive to start thinking about my plans after I graduate next year. It also taught me about how contacts within the industry and big companies are invaluable, and I am very lucky to obtain some of these contacts from Cadbury's. My Cadbury experience has definitely influenced my career outlook. It has confirmed my ambition in working in advertising. It has also taught me many important industry skills which I will need to apply in my career path. One of these skills is the ability to work successfully within a group. I learned about the compromises that have to be made in order to achieve good group dynamics. I also realised the importance of clear communication within the group and the need to assign tasks appropriately. One of the most valuable lessons from the placement was time management and meeting deadlines. Although my time management skills were not always the best, I was pleased that I met the deadline set and contributed to the success of the team. I also found I had good interpersonal skills and established working relationships with the staff at Cadbury. I learnt that skills such as this are important as IT skills in the workplace. Despite my nerves about doing 2 weeks at Cadbury's, I had an absolutely fantastic time, met some really great influential people, gained a real insight into the inner workings of an advertising industry and improved many of my personal skills. Some highlights for me personally would have to be seeing all the hard work we put into the HRC chocolate brief being used at the Innovation Fair to represent Cadbury, one of Britain's biggest and well-loved brands. Working on a real-time brief was fantastic. To be working for real clients and receiving feedback was very exciting. We have since heard from one of our members of the second group on the placement at Cadbury after us that one of our designs has been fully drawn up and is being considered for the new product packaging coming out in about a year. The satisfaction of this kind of news confirms the advertising industry, in particular the creative side, is definitely where I hope to end up. There was nothing wrong during my time at Cadbury. The staff welcomed us and gave us some wonderful opportunities. It was a great experience, and any mistakes that I may have made along the way have just taught me important life lessons which I can learn from and work on for my future career. Photography. Following on from my 2 weeks at Cadbury Design Studio, I decided to organise and publish my photography that I'd collected for many years without outputting. I did this for 3 days after returning home from Cadbury. The rationale behind my 3 days of photography came from the inspiration and motivation from my Cadbury placements. I've always been a fan of photography and enjoy taking my own pictures occasionally. I had a collection of photos I wanted to organise and publish. I also wanted to increase my knowledge of photography and improve my technical ability. So I began the 3 days attaching a signature to all of my photos, resizing and improving the quality in order to upload to my blog. After this, to improve my photography ability, I sought a little bit of coaching from a good friend who is a photography student from my hometown. I wanted to do this so I could publish my photographs, receive feedback, comments, and to generally improve my skill behind the camera and fully understand how to use certain functions. I felt increasing my knowledge about the camera functions and spending time trying things out would be beneficial and increase my skill base. After publishing all my current photographs, my photography student friend taught me how to do many different tricks and effects with the camera that I would have never been able to discover properly on my own. She taught me all about changing the exposure and the depth of focus to achieve the required outcome. Being taught my way around the camera properly has really inspired me to take more photos and increase my personal portfolio. Finding out how to manipulate the camera effectively to gain the best quality photos has really fueled my interest in photography, and I will definitely increase the amount of photos I take and publish on my blog. Using the photography skills I have learnt means I will be able to take and publish photos of much higher quality. Although I have a big interest in photography, it is not intended to be a career option, but will support my interest in a creative role in advertising, and it is a passionate hobby of mine. Everything went really well and as planned on my 3 days working on my photography skills. I improved my ability behind the lens to a standard I was happy with, and now I will have to learn the rest through plenty of practice. Hired guns. I spent the remaining 7 days out of the 20 required for my module working on the newly created advertising agency with my colleague. We decided to set up our advertising company during our Cadbury placement. Please see my blog for this diary of these 7 days. Hired Guns began from an inspiration and motivation of working in the Cadbury Design Studio. Sam Tubb and I worked together on many university projects and worked really well together. When we were at Cadbury, we began to seriously consider our future careers, and after a thorough discussion we decided to launch a small advertising company. We had got the taste of the industry at Cadbury and we were hooked, so wanted to get started. We wanted to apply all we had learned from our time at Cadbury into our business and future careers. Cadbury also highlighted the competitiveness of the industry, so we wanted to get ahead of the game and be ready for when we graduate university. We used the 7 days to set up the company, an email account and registering to Crowdspring to give us the opportunity to work on real life briefs and build up a portfolio. We worked on the briefs from Crowdspring. Luckily Sam lives very close to me at home, which made this a lot easier. Although Hired Guns is still in the very early stages, I've already learnt a lot from being part of the company. My personal skills, such as communication, delegation and teamwork, have really improved as a result of working on the launch of Hired Guns. My motivation to make Hired Guns a success for when we leave university and start approaching clients has greatly increased. This is due to becoming aware of the direction I want my working life to take, and it is beyond exciting. Naturally, setting up my own business has greatly influenced my future career prospects. It has given me a direction and a goal to aim for, and this really increases my motivation to succeed. Although Hired Guns has not been around for long, I've learnt I need to improve my drawing skills before I finish university. So far I have really enjoyed working as part of a team and working on our portfolio to show clients later down the line. Obviously I do not know what will happen to Hired Guns, but I hope it will carry on for many years. Certainly the small amount of time I have spent on it so far has been invaluable. All of the aspects of the 20 days professional experience have opened my eyes and sharpened my focus on the goal at the end of the career road. Cadbury really inspired and rekindled my motivation, which consequently worked out fantastically and resulted in me forming my own advertising company with a colleague. This also made me actively try to improve my weaker skills and attributes. Overall, I have really enjoyed my 20 days professional experience, and I've learnt some really valuable lessons. Working with experienced professionals in a real situation was incredible, and I would jump at the chance to do another placement. This was not only motivating, it was also a chance to try out all the things we had heard about at university, as well as get a first-hand experience alongside the experts. Thank you for listening.